Welcome back everyone. So in this challenge we will try something different. So I found this dribble style from Oleg Frollo. Sorry if I didn't pronounce that right. And it's a very simple welcome screen. So first off, I just want to make that clear is that we will not use this Japanese signs. And instead of writing that top to bottom, I haven't actually found a good way of doing that. So we will just have a normal from left to right. So if you know a way to do this simply,
Get a free full month of Skillshare and stream more than 18,000 online classes on subjects like design, business and tech. After a while and you feel like this isn't for you, you can always cancel a subscription and not pay anything. So don't wait, try it out now. The link is in the description. So let's start this design off and let's check the design. So the design, for me it looks like we're going to use a stack, and why we're going to use a stack is that we can with a stack lay widgets on top of each other. So what it looks to me is that we have a container for all this, or actually let's just try with adding a stack for this for all this, and then one of the child for the stack will be this frosted glass. Another will be this red circle, and one will be for the title. So let's try that. So for the body of the scaffold, we will use a stack. So the stack takes children. So we are actually going to build this page from the bottom up. So we will start with this frosted glass. So for this frosted glass, let's add a align, or we can actually add a positioned widget. What does a position widget take? No. Let's add an align so we get a bit more decision over this where the alignment will be. So let's set the alignment. I will scroll down a bit. So for the alignment, we will align this frosted glass to the bottom. So let's add a alignment to bottom center. We can't actually see anything now, so I will just keep typing and explaining until we have a glass to display. So for this child, we will have a backdrop filter. So for this backdrop filter, it actually provides a property called filter. So we can have a image filter with a blur, and that takes the, let's just import that first. And that takes two parameters, which will be the blur in X and Y. So let's just try something like 15 first. Don't actually know the values. And if I save that, we won't actually see anything at all. We need to provide some more things. So in this backdrop filter, it also takes a child. And for this child, we will have a container. So with this container, we will set the height, the width, and the color, so we can actually see some of that glass. So the height, let's try with 300, and the width will just be the complete width of the application. And then for the decoration, box decoration, we can set the color to something like shade 200 with opacity of like 0.5 or something. So let's just save and see if we can get something. And here we have, it's maybe a bit hard to see, so let's just add a blue shade to begin with so we can actually see this a bit better. So there we go. So for the child of this container, we will provide some more things. So let's add another align. with an alignment. So this will be pretty much the place where we will put the buttons. So we align this to the bottom, and we will set a container again with a height of half of the height of the actual container. So this frosted glass is right now a height of 300. And if we check this, you can see that this frosted glass, let's say it's 300, and this is like half of it. So let's just set that to 150, like that. So then we can build the buttons from the middle of the glass and down. And here we will have the child for building buttons, right? So let's take this full align and take a refractor and extract a method. So we will call this build frosted glass. And we will actually add the buttons later. We'll just start with the layout, because we already have a place where to put the buttons, so that will be easy later. So if we check the design again, we can see that we are missing both the circle and the title. And as I said in the beginning, the title will just be a normal left to right and not top to bottom. If you know a better way, please let me know in the comments so people can implement that. There is a way, but that's very, very tedious to do. And as this welcome screen is actually setting the theme for the whole application, if you want to do an application with a theme like this, you would have to add top to bottom text to make it more self-explanatory, so you don't add a lots of different styles to it. So for the second thing, we will have the build circle, and as I said before, we are building from the bottom up. So here we will have the build circle. So let's add another align. So for the alignment, we will actually do the same. We will align it to the bottom center. And that's so we can actually get or calculate the height of the circle to get it completely in the middle of this glass. So for the child of this, we will add a padding. And with this padding, we will align it to, first off, let's just align it to the top of this, so we stack it on top of this frosted glass, just to know, because we don't actually know what the height and width of this circle container will be. So let's just align it there. And we can provide a child, which is a container. Let's just set the height to something like 100. That's probably a bit too small, but we'll try it anyway. And let's set the decoration to box decoration so we can see something. And let's just add colors.red first. So you can see something. Yeah, there you go. So now I have a box stacked on the top of this. So if we check the design again, we can see that this square is a bit small. So let's just add a bit more size to this. And that looks a bit better. So to align this in the center, we actually have to calculate that. So if we think about it, we have a height of this container to be 150. So the half of 150 is 75. So let's extract 75 from this alignment of bottom. And 300 minus 75 is 25. So let's see if we can get that to the, 225. So let's see if we can get that to the middle. And that looks like the middle. We can actually inspect this. And we can see, yeah, it pretty much aligns in the middle right there. So for this shape, the box decoration actually has a property called shape. and there is just a box shape.circle. So this will provide the circle or the circle container. And the colors are not right now, so we will change that a bit later. And it looks like the frosted glass is a bit thick. So if we go to the frosted glass, which is this right here, let's lower that to 0.3. And that looks a bit better. Let's add a gray now to this. So now we have an actual frosted glass. That looks a bit right. So now we'll actually change this primary color. So to have this the colors correct in this, we will have a primary color. And the primary color will just set to this bluish color. And he provides that in the design. So let's just add that. So if we scroll down, I think it was that one. Yeah, that one. So now we have the primary color set up. We'll also have a scaffold color because our scaffold color is completely white right now. It looks like he's a bit tinted to the gray. So let's add a scaffold color also. Let's just see. Yeah, let's just add a scaffold color. So to give it a scaffold color, we can give it colors.gray. We can give it a shade of about 200, I think. Let's try that. It's a bit subtle, but it works. So if we just scroll down now, we can extract this again. We go to refractor and we take this extract to method. We can have build, let's just call it build circle. And let's just move this above this frosted glass. So for the next thing we'll do, if we check the design again, let's just build this title. And the title will actually be, I'm thinking we should just do an align again. Yeah, yes, let's just do another align. So for the align, we will actually do a bit different right now. So we will set alignment to the top center and add a comma there. And for the style of this, we will add a padding again. And for the padding, we will set padding from the top, so we can push that down a bit. Or let's just first add child of the text, just so that you can see where the child actually will be. So let's just write welcome there. And where did we have a, that's just because we do not provide any padding. So let's just remove the padding for now. So we can see that it aligns right at the top, and we don't want that, so we will add padding to this. And not all the positions, so we'll only set the padding at the top. And let's try something like 100 from the top. So if we check the design, yeah, that looks decent. So let's add some styling to this text. So for the style, we'll provide our text style widget, which will have the font size and it will have the color. So let's start with the font size, and let's just try the font size with something like 32. And then we can get the theme of context. And we can set that to the primary color. And as I said when we did that before, the primary color is set to this text and button color right there. So now we have a decent welcome text. And why is this? Okay, so we actually will have to avoid that error, we'll do like this. There we go. Now we're not having any error. So that's actually all for the title. So let's just take that, refactor and extract to a method called build title. And we'll put that at the top. So actually my tab is still showing, so let's just remove that. There we go. So if I check the to-do list that we added before, and we can see our welcome screen, we have a to-do. And if we double press that, we'll get to our to-do, which is to add the child buttons. So to get the buttons right, we will have to have a child of a column. So right now, if we give this a color, we can see that we have already marked this space right here. So we will add the colors in, or the buttons in here. So for this child, we will have a column. And to just make this a bit cleaner, we'll actually extract that right away. So this will be build buttons. And that actually is in the right spot in the beginning. So as you can see, we have an align, which will set the frosted glass to the bottom. We'll set the height of the frosted glass, which is 300. And then the height of the container, this blue container, which is 50. And if we save this now to hot refresh, where this blue disappears. So now we can create our buttons. So if we check the design again, we can see that we have a large button which is blue, and then a secondary button which does not have any color of the button, but only on the text. And the text here is white and the text here is blue. So to make a button rounded, it also looks like they are using a flat button there. So for the first child, we'll first begin with the first button, which was the big blue button. So to make it the size we want, we will provide a size box, which has a width of, let's try 150, and a height of 40. So inside here we can add or provide a flat button. And the child of this flat button will just be a text. Let's call it sign in. So right there we have a button which is called sign in. And we can't actually press it, so let's just provide a empty on pressed or on. Oh, we actually have already on pressed there. So let's just add a empty on pressed so we can actually press it. But as you can see, this is not the right color or the right shape. So to get the right shape, we can actually provide a shape to the flat button. So for the shape, we will have a rounded rectangle border. And this takes a border radius. So for the border radius, we can add a circular border radius. And let's set that to something like 30. So if we see, that looks a bit right. Maybe we can make it a bit bigger, actually. Let's add a color to begin with so we can see that better. So for this flat button, we can also provide a color. So the color for this will be the primary color of the application. And there's also another mistake, which is the text is black here. So if we check this text again, we can see that it's white So let's change that to a white text. So to make this a bit easier, we can actually provide a theme to this. So we can take the primary text theme and then set that to button. So that will take this the color and set the best contrasting color to that. So there we go. We can actually extract this a bit better. So if we take theme context, and then we can take the text or the theme, add it like that. There we go. Now we are using this final variable instead of writing theme of context all the time. So for the next button, we will add a flat button again, which will not have a background this time. So let's provide a flat button. Yeah, let's add a flat button. And for this flat button, we will have a on pressed again. And we will set the shape. And the shape will just be the same. It's a mistake. Let's remove that. And then for the child, we will take the same as here. And let's write sign up instead. And instead of taking this theme, right here, we'll take the primary color. And the primary color is this blue color, so we want that to the text. But we can't actually provide this theme.primary color onto this text style or this style. So we'll add a text style which takes a color, and then we can paste that in. So we're actually getting an error. Where's the error? Not one too many of those. There we have our sign up. We can see that it's also rounded. So let's see if we should make this button actually a bit bigger. Yeah, let's make it a bit bigger. So let's add something like 75 here. Let's add something like 60 here. And that's way, way too big. So 50, maybe. That looks pretty good. So there we go. Here we have the complete design. So this very, very simple and minimalistic design. If you got any way of doing this top to bottom text, just let me know in the comments. If you like these tutorials, please subscribe to the channel and leave a like. And let me know what you'd like to see in the future. I'll probably do a animation tutorial in the near future, so stay tuned for that. And as always, have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. Bye.